We just do random yaks.
Yeah, what's up world? This is Victor and we're presenting to you Artists Without Borders. Just hold on, my camera.
No, artists without agendas.
Oh, you got you.
Artists do actually have borders because of different countries. So
I
it would be nice if there were no borders and then just be artists.
You know?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Just art for art's sake.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here with Michael K, comedian, actor. He's based in Zimbabwe, and this is kind of like a reunion because we haven't seen each other in a minute.
Yeah.
And we haven't performed together in a very long time.
Years, yeah.
And do you want to give the background of where we came from, what we did together?
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, Victor and I met, oh man, how many years ago is that? When we started doing comedy together on one of the pioneers of comedy in Zimbabwe's show, Edgar Langeveldt. And I met Langeveldt while we were shooting a sitcom. And he looked at me and said, well, you're funny. You know, let's do something. And he invited me on a weekly show he has, a stand-up comedy show that he had every week at a place we called the Book Cafe here in Harare, which was the arts mecca here. And then we started doing a few shows with him. That's my first taste of stand-up comedy. I died a lot.
Tell me about it.
A lot. But he encouraged me to just, you know, fine-tune your art and keep coming back, and he encouraged me to get back into it. And, you know, I kept going every week. I kept going and, you know, steadily, you know, improved. Then he says, look, let's bring other guys on board. And that's when Victor here came in, because Victor was a projects manager at the Book Cafe at the time. And he came on board, and when I met him, we started talking, and that was it. It was just mega mind.
Yeah.
You know, we just clicked, we gelled, we just said, right, we can do something. And so we regularly had shows, and we were called the guests on Edgar's show. And we did this for quite a few years, every week on Edgar's show. And then Edgar moved on to something else, and we were left with the stage. I said, okay, do we carry on? Do we leave it? Because our mentor, our maestro is gone. What do we do? I thought, no, man, look, we've been doing this for a while, so why don't we carry on? I mean, people like us, you know, or at least we thought they did.
I think they did.
Yeah, hopefully.
In the beginning, they didn't know about us.
True.
The chairs knew us.
Yes, the chairs knew us, yes. Because so we then said, okay, now it's just, we're going to call ourselves the guests, since we were guests on Edgar Langeveldt's show. So I said, that's our name. We're going to call ourselves the guests. And we started doing shows every week, and it was rough. I mean, we did a lot of our shows to upholstery, to chairs, but slowly it built up again, and then people started coming back, and it became mind-boggling. I mean, we'd have full houses almost every single week that we were doing this. This is over a period of some years. And it was fun, it was great. We'd come up with new material. We just had fun, which was the important thing about stand-up comedy. We just had fun, and we loved it. And, you know, of course, in the years went on, and we grew, and we got, you know, other interests come in, and we ended up doing other things. So that's now that Victor's back. I mean, we're just talking about a reunion, you know.
Absolutely.
How do we get back? You know, not necessarily to where we were, but better than when we were back in those days. I mean, we're older, we're hopefully wiser. We're family men now, we got kids. We didn't have kids there, you know. Our kids usually consisted of alcohol. Those were our kids back in those days. That's what mattered back then. And now we've got actual live kids, so, you know, priorities change. Mindset change, the way we think changes, but it would be great to get back to the guests, just to bring the guests back, do a couple of shows, 3 shows or something like that back here in Zimbabwe, and just to show people that, wait a minute, we started this, okay? You got all these little kids running around now in Zimbabwe like they're the ones who started this thing, and they're the hottest thing since sliced bread. You know, no, kid, we started this, you know? We're the OGs of this stuff. So we get to show them. You know?
Yeah. And I like the fact that you said just to have fun, you know.
That's what it's about, man.
Because I remember when we put a show together, the whole idea was, is it funny to us?
Yep.
You know,
Oh yeah.
Is this really funny stuff, you know? So when we were on stage, I remember sometimes we would even crack up, just get into these bowls of laughter,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and actually stop the
stage.
show
Yeah,
on
on
stage
stage.
because sometimes when we did a duo thing, Mike would say something and I would just be cracking up. It would just be, that's the level of comedy we were doing.
Have
you know?
fun with it. You know?
Yeah.
Then you remember, oh, we've got an audience.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Oh, we're doing it for them, guys. It's not for us. Remember, we had fun. No, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah. So the guests actually have a couple of I would say over 100 hours of recorded material that we captured. Unfortunately, some of it got lost due to circumstances we won't talk about at this point.
Not yet.
But like Mike said, it would be great to have a reunion, a show where we come back together again, maybe once a year, maybe twice a year, depending on how it will go, on the support we'll get after this. I say support because I feel, and I think Michael concurred that art should not, you know, be weighted down by other ideas other than the artist's ideas.
Exactly.
You know, especially comedy. I mean, comedy in its purest form should come from the comedian. And of course, I mean, there are comedians who have writers for them, but you got to find a writer who works with you, who
gel with you,
who gels with
who knows
you.
who you are.
Yeah. So we're starting a movement which will hopefully will build out into an organization called Artists Without Agendas. You know, and this is bring your art form in its purest form and present it to the people. And my perspective is that art should be uplifting, should be inspiring, should be thought-provoking, and should not necessarily be political.
Yep,
that's my view.
Yeah,
What's your
I
take?
agree. I definitely agree. It shouldn't have agendas, like the name says, you know. And when we say agendas, we mean that it mustn't be guided by other people's thoughts. Like here in Zimbabwe, a lot of our art is funded by non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and they'll come with their particular agenda. And okay, so they'll come and they'll say we want certain artists to do certain things. They'll say, look, we want to do something about some politics, for example. Can you write a play about it? Can you write a play on oppression, on gender-based violence, on HIV and AIDS, the usual things they like to do here in Africa? And there's more to our art than just that. And so we're saying, look, artists, tell your stories, who you are, what you want to do. We've got very creative people. Instead of having your creativity channeled by somebody else simply because of funding. Money, basically money. Yeah, we all need money, of course. But are you willing to sell your soul for a few dollars, US dollars? But are you willing to sell your soul for that and say, okay, I'm going to write a play about this? It's not really what you want to do. It's not really what you are about.
Exactly.
You can do it, yes, but it's not what you want to do. But because you want to get paid, you need to make a life. You need to make a living. And so we're saying let's not have that. That's what we talk about when we talk about agendas. Okay? It's having things that are outside of you influencing. When I say outside of you, I don't mean life's activities. I mean other minds.
Exactly. I like the way you frame that.
Yes. Other minds controlling you to do what they want. So basically, you're just a marionette. And you're just simply used to push other people's agenda because you have a talent, a gift. You can do this. And they want to use that. That's what we're saying when we say artists without agendas.
Absolutely.
Bring yourself. Bring who you are. Bring your soul. Let's see who you are. That's what we want. Like Victor said, it must be uplifting, you know, but more importantly, it must be fun.
Absolutely, yeah.
It must be fun. Yeah. You gotta love what you're doing. You gotta enjoy it. That's the idea of being an artist. That's it. That's what drives us as creatives. We love what we do and we have a lot of fun doing it, especially as comedians. This is what we do.
Absolutely.
And this is what we're pushing. And we're saying, look, this is what we need more of. Let people come as themselves. Not with something else, not with other little hang-ups, no. Not with hanger-ons. Just you, your mind, your soul, to the people.
Brilliant, lovely. I couldn't have phrased it better. So this is obviously the very first take of Artists Without Agendas. And our hope is that we'll reach out to people who have the same mindset to say, we want to see art from a very pure standpoint. You know, if you look at some of the great poets, for instance, Invictus, the poem Invictus, you know, it doesn't name political agendas or social issues. It talks about the human soul surviving through situations, but being strong. Anybody can relate to that, you know. So we want an art form that's true to the artist, that's very rooted in the life of the artist. You know what I mean?
Yep.
For example, I mean, just to look back, I love some of the characters you created. For instance, the drunk guy. You know, and then the nosy guy, you know, who would peer over your shoulder and get into your business. You know, simple things, but that point to really electric aspects of life. Like, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah,
you know?
we've all experienced that guy. You know, like you're on the train, subway, wherever you are on the bus, and you hold a newspaper and you're trying to read it. There's always that one guy who wants to peer over and read the, you know, the sports section. You know, and he gets impatient because you're not turning the page fast enough for him. You know, you can even try to offer him the newspapers. No,
I don't want to.
Yeah, you know. We all get, you know, it's simple, it's funny. You know, it's a funny little thing because we all know those people, you know. So this is the kind of simple, fun art we're talking about.